take a look at this. There needs to be soil all around. Can't just leave it in the middle here with soil beneath it. There needs to be soil right up to this line. So that's what we're gonna do.
Howdy. So this evening I am repotting a friend's plant that needs to be put into a bigger pot. So this is the pot I've got. It's a new home for it. And I've already taken this plant out of the clay pot it was in. And I was just testing out different size plastic containers. Hold on. But within the original clay pot that it had was this plastic pot. And as you can tell by the roots coming straight out of the bottom of this plastic container, it is high time for this to get a new home. My first step is to fill up the empty new pot that I have with indoor potting mix. I didn't look for a particular kind of mix. I just looked for something that might be good all-purpose for houseplants and would have some organic fertilizer. This comes with a mix of poor, sphagnum, peat moss, and organic fertilizer. So I'm just gonna go ahead, open up the container. There we go. And I'm gonna fill up the pot partially, not entirely, but partially, with the new soil. Yes, sir. All right, let's see how that looks. Shake it out a bit. Right, here we go. So I filled it up halfway, and I'm going to adjust how much I add based on how the plant settles in. Now that I have some new soil in the new pot, I'm gonna take a knife and just gently dislodge the soil or the plant from its current pot. I don't want to be pulling on the stems or the leaves, but I also want to make sure I'm able to unattach it from the walls of this pot. Trying to be as gentle as I can. Okay. And we're going to turn it upside down, gently squeezing. Let's see. Oh, it does not want to come out, yo. It does not want to come out. Alright, so I'm going to squeeze it a little bit, just a little bit, just to dislodge it. It's very determined to stay where it is. It's a beautiful plant. I really don't want to mess things up. Okay. So now that it loosened up a little, I'm gonna try to untangle the bottom so that as gravity does its thing, roots aren't getting absolutely annihilated or ripped. This reminds me of sometimes when I'm like detangling my own hair, you know, I feel like that sometimes. All right, this is intense, y'all. All right. There we go. That loosened up. All right, we're making progress. I think we're about ready. Slip out. Look at that. Whoa. Super long roots. So I realized that this is still not enough soil for when I put this in. Because when I put this plant in, with long old roots, right? It's sitting a little bit too below the rim for my comfort. So I gotta add a little bit more soil beneath it, and then I'm gonna fill in all around it. So, a little bit more soil, just a little bit. Yes, sir. All right, that'll suffice. Mix it around. Make sure everybody is indoors. Now, my next thing is I've got to gently squeeze the roots, or as it's often called, the root ball, and gently rake on the sides of the plant to let the root know it's time to move. You see, this root literally was coming up to the top, literally to the top of the root ball, right over here. So that's how you know it was like really looking for a place to breathe, looking for nutrients. Any case, try my best not to smother these really long roots. Alright, here we go. Try my best not to smother these long roots. Everybody's inside the ride. I think so. Taking off any dead attachments. This is a dried out leaf, so that could go. And now it's time to fill in. Take a look at this. There needs to be soil all around. Can't just leave it in the middle here with soil beneath it. There needs to be soil right up to this line. So that's what we're gonna do. So here is the result. The soil is just below the top line of the pot, and the soil is indeed covering the root ball. I've pressed down a bit, not too hard because I didn't want to compact the soil. And as is very, very, very important to do, right after putting the plant in its new home, you have to water. So that's what I'm doing. Got a purified water pitcher. Let's get some water. So watering immediately afterwards helps minimize the experience known as transplant shock. And all plants go through it, some more so than others. But, you know, being moved from an environment that you're used to, where you're used to getting your nutrients in a certain way, and then you get into a new home, you get shocked, you get stressed, and that's what happens to plants. So water lets them know that, hey, you're in a new place, but you're still going to be well fed, still going to be nourished, hydrated. And yeah, that is the process of repotting a house plant. If you have any tips, tricks, bits of constructive criticism, let your boy know. I don't repot plants very often, but I intend to do so a lot more as I'm growing a lot more things in my home. So appreciate you watching, and until next time, peace.